So this is the story of the red heeler / cattle dog that has been roaming my area for approximately 2 months. This dog was going back and forth between multiple large neighborhoods, crossing a very busy highway and busy roads, and was roaming approximately like a 2-mile radius. So we had set up multiple feeding stations in the hopes that we would be able to trap this dog because he was so nervous, and anytime we would approach him in our cars or on foot, he would just wander off, even with high value food. And of course, this dog never touched any of our feeding stations and was never seen on any of the trail cams because he was going literally all over this 2-mile radius. So we kept the feeding stations going, and then we also started to notice that this dog seemed to be very dog friendly, approaching people's fence lines to play with their dogs, and also people that were walking their dogs, but he never got close enough to let anybody grab him or leash him. So my goal going forward was to kind of use one of my dogs as a bait dog and just continue tracking his sightings. On Saturday, I did about 7 to 8 hours of volunteering at the Trap, Neuter, Vaccinate, Release clinic, and then came home to multiple sightings of this dog. So I grabbed my dog and we head over to where he was last seen. Of course, it's pouring down rain and there's lightning in the distance, but I find a little covered area where there's mailboxes and I finally get him to approach us. Of course, I am so excited. He is taking some food from me. He's being very neutral, very friendly with my dog, smelling him, very curious. Of course, this isn't the best situation. I don't want to put my dog at risk, whether this dog is sick or not friendly, but this was really the only option that we had. And from the previous signs that he had given me with other dogs, I was really hopeful that he would be okay. So the heeler is not neutered, so he was doing, some sniffing, maybe wanting to hump him a little bit. You could tell he was excited, not really sure. So I was thinking, when he goes to sniff my dog's butt, I can go ahead and slip the leash on him. No, that was much more difficult than I thought it would be. So we got spooked off a couple times. I would draw him back in with chicken, giving him lots of verbal praise and stuff, looking around just to make sure there's nothing else that's going to scare him off. So none of that seemed to really work. I was here for maybe 40 minutes, just kind of hanging out with him. I went through a whole can of chicken. So eventually I think, okay, well, let's, pop the hatch of my SUV and see if we can get him into my car with my dog kind of jumping in first. The guy over there is telling me, great job, you got him. And I'm like, not yet, sir. So he would not get in my car. My boyfriend comes up with the idea to just walk home and have the dog follow us home. Keep in mind, I'd have to cross a 2-lane highway. I'm like, no, you're crazy. Well, we did it. We walked all the way back to my house in the rain. He followed us the whole way. And then me and my boyfriend worked together to get him in our fenced backyard. Somehow, some way, there he is in the dark. So I had him contained in the yard overnight. I was very concerned he was going to jump the fence or dig out, which he tried and failed, thankfully. I kept my porch open overnight for him to sleep there, but he chose to sleep right here. Poor little guy was just very scared. And this was him when I went out in the morning to say hello. Now I had to figure out how to get closer to him, leash him, and take him to be scanned for a microchip. He was very scared, and he went to hide in my really overgrown garden. Please don't judge me. So after noticing the holes that he had tried to dig the night before, I decided bright and early that I was going to go outside and try to leash him. I had my long sleeve shirt on, bike gloves, jeans, and then rain boots because the ground was wet, but I also wanted to protect my legs. So he was very scared, and right here he does go to snap at the leash. Again, very fearful, not aggressive. So I start bringing the leash closer to him, releasing the pressure, and doing this to get him more comfortable with the leash being over his head. I have no idea if he's ever been on a leash before, so this could be very foreign to him. So I call over my personal dog, who he had made friends with before. I take a moment here, move a little closer, take a deep breath, staying very neutral, and then it's time to go for it. And right here, I got him. He is on leash. He's safe. He's scared. So you can see he does try to run off, feeling that leash pressure. So I tell my dog to go over where the little gate is to the garden area. He's a little spooked here, so I just want to keep him walking. We're gonna go inside here into the porch. Again, please ignore my ugly landscaping. We have work to do. So he's in the porch here, and now I do want to get him crated because the next step is to get him scanned for a microchip. So he has to be contained just for his safety and my safety, getting him in the car. Don't know if he's ever been in a crate before, so he's very concerned about what I'm doing. I kind of prop the door open with my boot, and then I feed the leash through, and I do have to give him, you know, some pressure on that leash to get him moving. So I do get him about halfway into the crate. So I do release the leash pressure, and then I'm just kind of waiting a second and give him a little bit more pressure, and he's in the crate. And it looks like he relaxes. He just kind of sits down. He does lick my finger here.
Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
So I got him scanned for a chip. He did not have one, so that means he's on a 5-day stray hold period. And then somehow, like 3 hours later, we are best friends. He's trying to get in my lap, cuddling up to me. But then I noticed that he's got some fleas and ticks. So later on during the day, we get a nice bath. There was tons of caked on mud on him. And post-bath, of course, he wanted to roll in the grass.
You're gonna trip me.
Being super cute and funny. And then we threw away his old nasty collar. Stay tuned for more updates.